Yeah, I guess we've already heard that we've got a lot of stuff. Storage units, 58,000 in the US, 1 in 10 Americans, and that's not all the stuff in our garage and our attics. But sometimes getting stuff can be a good thing, because buying a new carpet gives someone a job, in the same way that getting a new pair of shoes or a car. A growing economy requires us to participate. But what if everything we got, everything we bought, became a good thing? So imagine if everything we used had a second use, and that with every production cycle, the world got a little better. Rivers got cleaner, materials got safer. The world just gets better with every use, with every cycle. And so then having stuff becomes a good thing. What would that look like? Well, in Cali, this is a picture of the state capital of California. There's a lot of people there, 35 million, lots of stuff. And on this particular sun-filled day, I was on my way to see our new governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And when he had become governor, he had told me and the rest of the team, bring me your big ideas. I had one. How making stuff could become a good thing. I had just heard William McDonough talk about cradle to cradle, remaking the way we make things, and how he and his partner, Michael Brungart, had been actually working with companies so that the world became better with each production cycle. At the time, I had kind of hit the environmental wall. If I was going to be true to my green values, I was going to end up living in a cave, making my own clothes, and never ever going anywhere. But in a cradle-to-cradle world, I could have stuff, because with every production cycle, the world was going to get a little better. And this is what I was going to talk to the governor about. I was kind of nervous, because when you go to his office, the walls were all lined with old movie posters. So he's not just the governor, but he's an international movie star. And his last co-star was Sharon Stone. I was like, oh God, I'm no Sharon Stone. I think I can get his attention. I was going to pitch it like a movie script. Imagine people around the world watching and listening and learning. And it had a very simple premise. Let's change how we make everything. The governor likes to wear cowboy boots. He leaned back in his chair, threw those boots up on the desk. They had emblazoned with the California seal. He took the cigar out of his mouth. He looked at me and said, let's do it. So that's how the cradle-to-cradle product revolution started in California. Look, my journey, we started this at Google headquarters. Perfect match between what we were proposing, remaking the way we make everything, and the idea that you could find anything on the internet at any time. My journey to that day had begun 10 years before, and like some of you, I was skeptical. Could this really happen? Could we really make things with a positive impact? But the more I learned, the more I became convinced that we could do this. We could remake the clothes we're wearing, the cars we buy, the products we have for our offices, our homes, and even the equipment at conferences like this. But we needed process, we needed a roadmap to get companies to where they needed to be. But since that time 5 years ago, more than 200 companies with products on every continent representing billions of dollars in sales have said yes to making products with a positive impact. How do you get started? What would this look like? First, you start with saying yes. I'm going to remake the way I make things. 2, what's in my product? What am I making it out of? And how am I making? And 3, come up with a plan so that those materials and that processes become something positive. And 4, keep innovating. Commit yourself to continuous improvement. And here's a news flash. A lot of the materials we need haven't even been invented yet. What a neat opportunity. Okay, 4 simple steps. It's not really that easy. It takes investment, it takes time, and it takes leadership. But for the last 5 years, I've been on the front of this new industrial revolution, and I've seen companies and what they've done, and I want to give you a couple of examples. The largest flat glass manufacturer in Europe has decided to go down the cradle-to-cradle path. And amazing things start happening with their company. They commit to renewable energy future. Pretty awesome, since making glass takes a lot of energy. Their on-site recycling increases from 50% to over 90%. And their CEO says, being on this positive path lets me tell the story to my customers and my employees that we're making a positive contribution to the planet and to our bottom line. In Georgia, oh, here's the scorecard. This is the way they show their transparency. This is the way they show what they're doing and how they're proceeding over time. It's a very simple premise. Let's design things with safe materials that can be either recycled or composted. Let's make everything with clean energy, clean water on the way out of the factory, and treating everyone who makes everything fairly and with respect. A $4 billion Berkshire Hathaway carpet company in Georgia decides that they're going to go down the positive path. They take their carpet and they make it into new carpet. Look, this doesn't happen overnight, but on the way, they become the #1 carpet tile manufacturer in the United States. Happy CEO, happy shareholders, happy us. There's another thing I learned when I was in California. Other countries are watching us. They're ready and willing to copy the best of our ideas. We can be at the forefront of this new industrial revolution. We can show them how having stuff can be a good thing. Because every time we make something, every time we buy something, it becomes something positive for the rest of the planet. And crazier things have happened. We don't need to create the path. The path has already been created by the more than 200 companies that have already done this. The world's changing really quickly. Imagine if TED had been back in 1980 and someone had stood up on the stage and said, we're going to invent a computer that's going to be the size of the palm of your hand, and it's going to be a camera and a phone. Yeah, people would have probably laughed. But some people, Steve Jobs would have said, ooh, opportunity. Now let's imagine that we fast forward to TEDx 2030, and you're watching this speech. Maybe I'm a hologram. Maybe you're looking at it on your watch. And you say, you know, Bridgett was no Sharon Stone, but damned if she wasn't right. And that movie, and that movie she talked about with Arnold, it became a worldwide hit. And who were the co-stars? All of you. Because amazing people decided that we were going to completely change the way we make things. And as Arnold would say, let's do it. Thank you.